The harder you love them, the harder they pull away. For the dismissive avoidant, when all you've ever known is that connection equals control and being smothered and rejected, love feels deeply unsafe to your nervous system. So you're pouring on all this love to the avoidant, and they are pulling away further and further and further. You're just giving them more of what triggers them. So why does love trigger them? The answer is profound, consistent childhood emotional neglect. Their emotional needs were not met at all growing up in households where you don't talk about feelings. But to make matters worse, they had a parent or parents that were very controlling, very critical, not just correcting, but critical, putting them down harshly, especially if they displayed any kind of emotions. So they learned that their emotions were not welcome. It wasn't safe to express themselves, and they personalized it all. They grew up to feel defective and unlovable, like there's something wrong with them, that they are just inherently broken. And they carried this wound through to being an adult. And this is why emotional intimacy feels so deeply unsafe to them. Because their fear, and it's largely in the subconscious, although some avoidants are consciously aware of it, the fear is if I lower my walls and I let my partner in, my partner is going to figure out that I'm defective. They're going to figure out that I'm not so great, and they're going to reject me and take my independence in the process. That's why you asserting your needs and feelings feels controlling and rejecting to them. What they hear is, you're failing and I'm going to try to control you when you assert your needs and boundaries. But that doesn't make your emotional needs or boundaries wrong. And their rejection of your love, them pulling away, has nothing to do with your worth and everything to do with their unhealed wounds. Well, part of the reason why this is so profoundly difficult to deal with as their partner is because self-reflection, looking at themselves, is so difficult for a dismissive avoidant. Any kind of accountability is so painful, so incredibly painful because of that defectiveness wound. They had that critical, very demanding parent with high expectations. So what they learned is that they are either perfect or they are worthless. So even taking the slightest bit of accountability is the emotional equivalent of confirming their own defectiveness. See, I did this wrong, or I fell short here. It's proof I'm worthless. It's proof I'm defective. It's too painful. So they will almost instinctively do the mental gymnastics to make everything they do not their fault, because if it's not their fault, they don't have to face their shame. And their entire attachment style is oriented around avoiding things that feel uncomfortable, like shame and pain and difficult emotions. But what can you do on your end? You can't fix them with your love. All you can do is hold your boundaries and choose yourself, because you can't make them choose you.